Hey guys, PhazePlays here with an in-depth Path of Exile 2 boss guide for Arbiter of Divinity. This guide explains how to handle every ability in both phases. Let's jump in. First, Phase 1. He has two default attacks, a double spear jab and a slash followed by a jab. Strafe around him, move away or dodge roll to avoid these. For rotating projectiles, he casts a ball lightning orb that creates 4 streams of projectiles across the arena. This can safely be dodge rolled through. The initial safe zones are always perpendicular to the ball lightning cast. Try to fight in the large safe zones during Phase 1. Spear throw is a multi-part combo. He leans back, charges his spear, then throws the spear into the ground at your location. Dodge roll this. He flies into the air and dives on the spear, then charges up a long, wide frontal sweep. This can be dodge rolled through, outranged, or there's also a small safe zone perpendicular to his spear. The final ability is a lightning blast that leaves a vortex on the ground. Quickly outrange the blast and avoid stepping in the vortex. For Swoop Slam, he'll initially point his spear at you, then he'll whirl forward, winding upwards to become airborne. He charges his spear and then dives down, slamming the ground. This can be avoided in 3 ways. Quickly get behind him, dodge roll on impact, or outrange it. Double slash beam is a 3-part combo. 2 long slashes followed by a lightning beam. First, he pulls back his spear, then does 2 consecutive long-range slashes in your direction. Then he channels a lightning beam for 1 second. This can either be avoided with well-timed dodge rolls, or as his turning speed is on the slower side here, quickly get behind him. During clone traps, he places 4 stationary clones randomly around the arena. Stepping in the clone's radius triggers the trap. The clone does a whirlwind, hitting anything inside, then flies away. These can be cleared by briefly stepping in, then out, or pass straight through with the dodge roll briefly after stepping in the circle. Orbit is a long and dangerous combo. It starts with Divinity holding up his glowing spear. He does a quick 3-hit combo, a long slash, a burst of projectiles, then a stab. Dodge these. Next, he'll fly into the air and throw his spear, lodging it into the ground. Then he'll begin orbiting around the spear, tethered by a beam of electricity. Touching the beam deals damage. It can be dodge rolled through. There are 3 ways to deal with the orbit. Stay inside the circle and dodge roll through the beam. Stay inside the circle and quickly run around the center spear. Or briefly stand outside the circle. After the orbit ends, he does 2 long slashes. Dodge roll sideways to avoid these. They're chained quickly, so it's difficult to avoid both. Additionally, there are many explosive volatiles outside the circle. After these 2 slashes, he will detonate all volatiles. Volatiles deal heavy damage. Don't stand near them during detonation. Phase 1 ends when Arbiter of Divinity is around 40% health. In Phase 2, Arbiter of Divinity heals to full. In this phase, he ascends, becoming extremely mobile, frequently flashing, blinking, and warping around. There are now walking Divinity clones that steadily move towards you. Initially, there's only 1 clone, but there are more later in the fight. If they get near you, they'll do a melee sweep in your direction that deals respectable damage. Keep your distance from the clones to avoid unnecessary damage. Clones can also blink around. Luckily, to help deal with clones, there's Divine Power. Divine Power is vitally important in Phase 2. Occasionally, a radiant Divine Power orb will randomly spawn at one of the pedestals lining the arena's edge. Standing on a pedestal will absorb Divine Power, granting a 6-second buff that does 2 things. First, it allows you to destroy clones. Clones can be temporarily destroyed either by hitting them or walking through them. This is valuable as it takes time for clones to reaccumulate. Second, Divine Power makes you completely immune to damage. This can be nice to get some breathing room, regenerate health, or recharge energy shield. It can also be a great window to maximize boss damage. Occasionally reposition to avoid clones and look for new Divine Power orbs. There are 2 default attacks, a basic spear cleave, and a fist attack that fires a single projectile. For warp, he flies straight up into the air, then descends on you, dealing damage. On the ground, there is a subtle telegraph, a shimmer with lightning pulses. Quickly dodge or keep moving to avoid it. If you miss the rising animation, this can be very tricky to avoid. Forward dash comes out very quickly. When he crouches with a single bolt of lightning behind him, dodge instantly. He also has a 3-hit dash combo. A spear cleave, projectile throw, then a dash at the end. Either dodge sideways or outrange it and sidestep the projectile. Additionally, there's a 4-part Rapture dash combo. First, 2 projectile attacks, each firing a group of 3 projectiles, then a melee spear cleave, and finishes with a dash. Strafing around him and dodge rolling as needed should do the trick here. For Lightning Sunder, he'll charge his spear behind him, then rend the ground, sending out a medium-range fissure. His turning speed is quite slow during this. Either quickly strafe around him, dodge roll out of the way, or outrange it. He can also combine this for a 3-hit combo, a double melee spear slash followed by Sunder. Spear Throw Sweep is a dangerous 2-part combo. He'll throw his spear at your location, lodging it in the ground. Then he'll teleport to the spear and do a massive sweep. It's recommended to dodge roll into the sweep as this combination happens very quickly. For Soul Barrage, initially Divinity hunches over, pulsing with electricity. Then he begins hovering backwards and launches a huge barrage of ground-targeted projectiles. These projectiles are airborne for some time, so damage is delayed. His turning speed is slow here. Try to stay near him and circle around him as much as possible. During Storm Bolts, Divinity will vanish and then blanket the ground of the entire arena in Storm Bolts. After about 3 seconds, he'll chain detonate all bolts. This deals substantial damage if you're standing on one. However, what makes this ability dangerous are the clones, as they'll continue to move towards you. The goal here is to first get some distance from the clones before finding a safe spot. Avoid hastily standing in a nearby safe zone. You have a few seconds to move and decide where to stand. Triple Sweep Beam is one of his more dangerous combos. Initially, he briefly raises his pulsing spear in the air. Then he begins a chain of 3 wide sweeps, each sweep growing in size. These should be dodge rolled through. During this ability, closely watch his glowing spear. When the spear begins to accelerate, instantly dodge into the sweep. After these 3 sweeps end, he'll then do a brief lightning beam in your direction. Dodge roll or sidestep out of it. During Clone Assault, Divinity sends a rapid barrage of clones to rush at you for 8 seconds. Getting hit deals a decent chunk of damage and can stun, potentially overwhelming you with more follow-up hits. The trick here is to mentally filter out everything happening except for the glowing orange lines. Run around in a circle and make minor pathing adjustments as needed to avoid orange lines. Near the end of this ability, Arbiter of Divinity himself will charge up a massive glowing beam. After around 1.5 seconds, the line will pulse outwards perpendicular to the beam, dealing heavy damage. Either get behind Divinity in front of the line or far away on the sides. Arbiter of Divinity can initially be an overwhelming fight, but learning his abilities should make things much more manageable. Click like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. As always, thanks for watching.